Troy had fallen, its walls were rubble, its heroes gone. Yet, not all Trojans perished, survivors escaped, carrying their stories and hopes. They wandered for years, searching for a new home, their identity tied to legends of Hector and Helen. These exiles journeyed east, eventually reaching the lands of the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians, seeking to control their borders, gathered these wanderers and other displaced tribes. They settled them in the wild, mountainous north, a land of stone and sky. Here the Trojans and others forged a new community under Assyrian watch. The mountains tested their strength but also offered a chance to begin again. In this harsh new world, they blended old memories with new realities. The spirit of Troy lived on, transformed by the mountains. No longer lost, they became a people once more. Their journey from ruin to renewal had just begun. In the shadow of the peaks, a new chapter awaited. The last children of Troy would build a future from the ashes of their past. The legacy of Troy was not lost, it was reborn. In their new land, a great lake, Lake Van, became their heart. Surrounded by mountains, its blue waters offered life and protection. Villages sprang up along its shores, the people farmed, fished, and thrived. Here, a new culture emerged, Urartu. Many tribes, including Trojan descendants, united under this name. They chose a king, built stone fortresses, and forged a powerful nation. Roads and canals connected their settlements, making the land fertile and rich. Urartu's metalworkers became famous for their bronze and iron artistry. Their art blended old traditions with new mountain inspirations. The kingdom grew strong, rivaling mighty Assyria. Tushpa, their capital, rose above the lake, a symbol of unity and strength. No longer refugees, the Urartians were a proud, independent people. Their army was formidable, their culture vibrant. The memory of Troy faded into legend, but its spirit endured in Urartu's rise. From the shores of Lake Van, a new empire looked to the future. The mountain kingdom was ready to make its mark on history. Urartu's power drew the attention of Assyria's king Sargon II. In 714 BC, Assyrian armies invaded, defeating King Rusathes and devastating Urartu. Yet, the Urartians endured. Under King Argishti II and Rusa II, they rebuilt and flourished. This was Urartu's golden age. Fortresses, temples, and cities rose anew. Rusa-Hinili, a new capital, stood as a marvel of the ancient world. Prosperity returned, workshops thrived, fields yielded abundance, and peace reigned. But golden ages are fleeting. After Rusa II, weaker kings struggled with internal strife and new threats. The kingdom's strength faded and enemies gathered at its borders. The once mighty Urartu began to decline. Shadows crept over the mountains as the golden era waned. The people faced uncertainty, their future no longer secure. The legacy of their achievements lingered, but danger loomed. Urartu's story was far from over, but its greatest days were behind it. The mountain kingdom braced for the storms to come. Change was on the horizon. As Urartu weakened, the Scythians, fierce horsemen from the steppes, swept in. Masters of swift raids, they struck without warning, burning villages and destroying crops. Urartu's fortresses, built for old wars, were helpless against these new tactics. Fear spread, the kingdom's strength drained away. The Scythians weren't alone. Other powers like the Medes rose nearby. The ancient balance of the region was collapsing. In 590 BC, Scythians and Medes joined forces, attacking Urartu's heart. Cities and fortresses fell, palaces and temples were destroyed. The kingdom of Urartu, born from Troy's ashes, was shattered, its people scattered, its name fading into obscurity. The saga of the Mountain Kingdom ended in violence and ruin. The old world was swept away by new forces, a chapter of history closed forever. Urartu's fall was part of a wider collapse. The Assyrian Empire, once the region's superpower, faced its own doom. Years of war and many enemies left Assyria vulnerable. The Babylonians and Medes allied, marching on Assyria's great cities. In 612 BC, Nineveh fell after a brutal siege. Its destruction shocked the world. Assyria vanished, its cities in ruins, its people scattered. The fall of Assyria created chaos into which Urartu also disappeared. Two ancient rivals, both erased by the tides of change. The old empires of the Bronze and Iron Ages were gone. New powers, Medes, Babylonians, and soon the Persians, rose from the ruins. The end of Urartu and Assyria marked the close of an era, but from destruction came new beginnings. History's stage was set for the next great empires. As Near Eastern empires crumbled, change rippled far beyond. In northern Europe, Germanic tribes lived quietly in forests and fields. The collapse of old powers set migrations in motion, shaping distant lands. Germanic peoples developed their own myths. Tales of Odin, among the gods were the Aesir and Vanir, two powerful families whose stories shaped Norse legend, Thor and Ragnarok. These stories echoed the rise and fall of ancient kingdoms. Across cultures, legends told of heroes, gods, and the end of worlds. The fall of Troy, Urartu, and Assyria became distant memories, but their spirit lived on. New voices emerged, new stories began. The focus of history shifted from the Near East to Europe. The epic tales of the past became the foundation for future myths. Humanity's story continued, one of struggle, survival, and renewal. The echoes of ancient empires still whisper in our world today.